Did you know that most samurai weren't actually warriors, but rather were bureaucrats? If you didn't, here are a few more interesting facts about samurais. So during the Edo period, which is about this 250-year gap, it was very peaceful. Very little wars to fight, so a lot of the samurai that were trained didn't go to do much fighting. They were bureaucrats, they were scholars, they were teachers, or they were running the government. And even though samurais were known, and in our minds we think of them with katanas, fighting with swords, they were originally trained with bows to fight on horseback to shoot the bows, with the sword being a secondary weapon. They were also trained with many other weapons like spears and stuff. And one of the craziest facts I learned is that samurai started using guns. When the Portuguese came in 1543, they introduced firearms to the samurais, and I just thought that was wild because when you picture samurais, you picture them with a sword. You don't picture them pulling up with a Glock, which obviously it's not that, it was a primitive weapon, but you know what I mean. And if any of you know anything about samurai, you might have heard of the Bushido, which is like the code of honor, the code of conduct for all of samurai. But a fun fact you may not know is that was written after most of the fighting was already done. It was written during the Edo period, which, like I mentioned earlier, was the peaceful period. And honestly, one of the big reasons to writing the Bushido was to like romanticize the samurai, to put their moral code out there, so that's how they would be remembered. And finally, a bit more of a gruesome fact, they used to test their swords on humans. To test the quality of a new blade, the samurai would sometimes cut down criminals. And if there weren't any criminals to cut down in very rough times, they would even cut down random strangers. Samurai are super cool. I hope you find them super cool too. If you want any more facts, let me know.